Hello, I'm Dan Rambo from Gaijin Games. As a lot of our Wii U Runner 2 players probably noticed, we started a little thing called Miiverse Storytime a couple weeks ago. For those of you who don't know how it works is we will start a story on the Miiverse and then you all finish it in the comments section. The first video we did ended up getting about 26 comments, which we were very happy with, and we recorded it. This second one we did ended up getting over 700 comments. I want to say it was about 750-ish. Pretty nuts, but we're very excited about it. I think a lot of people were concerned that we wouldn't do a video, but of course we're going to do a video. That's how we roll. So the story started with, after winning the lottery, Uncle Dill decided to, and you guys took it from there, and get pickled by the magic of the tasty rotten weeds of his grandfather, and after that, decided to go on magical trip tour with his favorite country music band, Buffalo Dwight and the Cranberries Tomato, and went to New York, and went to the Nintendo World Store, but all of a sudden he got frustrated on what game he wanted to pick. All of a sudden, a madman crashes into the store and steals all the games, so Uncle Dill chases after him using magic pickle speed powers and accidentally hits the Great Wall of China. Then he immediately backflipped over a house to appease the mighty clown lord. He then decided to drink some Diet Coke. Even though the Coke was diet, he still got fat. But when he got fat, he couldn't backflip anymore. All of a sudden, he saw the game thief, and he chased him back to New York and got his red shell ready, and he called 911 when Don Magic showed up because the thief was buying used games, and he went to jail. Anyways, decided to go to Commander Video's house. They both go shopping for games and then go clubbing. Then he went Schwartz clothing, next day to buy some better clothes. The story starts. Super Meat Boy got zapped by an ice ray, and Commander Video has to get the LCE ray back from the evil panda. As he's going, he meet a black panda to help. Then they kicked butt and got to the evil panda. The black panda was going right and Commander Video was going left. Then they both jumped and punched him in the face, got the ice ray back, and Meat Boy was saved. The end. Never mind, I didn't notice he had to start off with that pickle guy, sad face. He bought the world. Commander said, because it's Thanksgiving. He said, oh, I guess I got to caught up in my money. Well, happy Thanksgiving. The end. Why did they remove it's a part of the game? I'd have to do this again post 2. Then he saw Commander in a chicken suit at the county fair by the Ferris wheel. The Commander ate an alpaca, and he barfed out a lollipop shaped like a star, all before falling into a wormhole. Spent all his winnings on cheeseburgers and garden sausages. Buy a new game. He was using his 3DS, then the game sucked him into his 3DS and he completed the game until he saw a nuclear explosion and to buy the business of Burger Mouth, only to find out that the evil sandwich shop across the street is plotting to take over the world. Then a cactus came out of nowhere and stole all of his money. He tried to chase him, but the Diet Coke he drank earlier made him slow as Wario. So he took a taxi, and the taxi driver wrecked. They both died. An ambulance arrived at the scene, but only found one body in the taxi. And it was only the taxi driver's body they found dead. Then they found Commander that was still alive next to the ambulance without a scratch. And, of course, the driver to the ambulance had to ask Commander Video for an autograph. But he said no, not today. Instead, he decided to go for a kebab. So the ambulance driver cried like a little girl. Repay the debt he owes to the Titans of the Welkin Wonderland for stealing over 9,000 monocles. However, after finally repaying said debt, he then spots Commander Video leaping over his checkpoint. This gets our green friend in debt once again for allowing foreign life forms pass without consent. Ever since then, he has tried to gain some more money by selling his slightly famous pickles, but even then he has his work cut out for him as he is in competition with his rival, Burger Mouth Finn. Keep on running in the hopes of finding yet more gold bars and treasure chests. He is a hoarder. I want my Baba too. Then they all pause for a moment. What the hey has been going on? They realize that it was an illusion by a mystical wizard warlock, a Warzok. Here? They then manipulated the Warzok into having a crazy dance party and doing a major rap battle to buy the rights to the Bit Trip franchise and make it all about himself. He said, give me all your money, and the cops stopped him. He got arrested while the cops ate donuts, and the Bit Trip was safe forever. The end. Needed more Nick Cage and Sunny D, until the dinosaurs returned and teamed up with King Kong, Godzilla, Giga Bowser, Ganon, that monster from Cloverfield, the Reapers, Medusa, and Hades, and Galactus, and they had the Apple of Eden, and evil George Washington joined them, and then, quote, Commander Video came out of nowhere, got the rocket launcher of saving nothing, and destroyed all the monsters. Again, people wanted autographs from them, but they couldn't do that because they had to help Mario save Peach for the 1,000,000th time.
Sent Bowser blasting off. Bling! Mario wanted an autograph, but Commander Video gave him some Diet Coke. Mario drank the Diet Coke and turned to the plumber. that was much more fat than before. After months of drinking Diet Coke, Commander Video got fat. He went to Dr. Phil for self-help. Soak in a jar of vinegar for 3 months. So Commander Video went on a mission to create a machine that makes people less fat using some cakes and biscuits he bought from Tesco. However, the best before date had expired. Meanwhile, Ruben was on his undercover mission to stop unfair Miiverse banning. The PKRS Club sprung into action with their water balloons. And Kai, the epic person, sat in his house and played Monster Hunter. The PKRS Club ran to Kai's house and told him what had happened. And they traveled to see the musical chicken Norzrath, but he refused because of Ruben and had destroyed the beast with his orange-flavored big toe. Ruben was forced to leave and come back to the story in the YouTube community. Monotonous voice, and the world never knew what cobalt chloride tasted like, except the yellow Yoshi, until such time as Ruben would give Kai mystical powers. And the hippos watched Rap D Chocobo on YouTube. Meanwhile, on a planet far, far away, Dant Rambo was returning from his space mission, and the Monado was attacking by flying kick-men monsters and had to fight them with a radish. Ruben then realized that capital letters aren't cool. All your base are belong to Kai. But then he realized, heck, yeah they are! Monado filled Radish with his powers and blew up everything. The spaceship was fueled by Ruben's awesomeness, so it never ran out of fuel, including this cat, Meraldo. Go to the Kobo, and then everyone will find out. This legend makes no sense. But who cares about that? Continue. Ruben checked the dictionary and couldn't find his awesome so the ship crashed. But then realized awesome was in the dictionary and set up to find some jigsaw pieces. They were combustible. So he made the inhabitants of the planet into a stew. Wait, no, the lemons were combustible, and the cake is a lie. Kai then sat off to accomplish his goals, which included finding Monado's whereabouts and stopping unfair Miiverse bans. He found Monado and asked him if he... Then the Xbox One was released, failed, discontinued, Microsoft went bankrupt. Then Capcom made Mega Man 12 and had seen any Wii U's being stood in front on floors going boom? Flawed maybe so. Monado remembered the last time he was on Miiverse and recalled chairs exploding. And there were boxes flying around exploding antelope seats and bands. Sure, it sucked a tad. Hey, I just met you and this is normal, but here's my pizza, so call me Gormal, sang Dant Rambo. Santa was also being rather rude, and lots of people got falsely reported and banned. And that's all he had. Then Space Canadians came to ban the trolls. The PKRS Club returned from the dead and helped the troll battle. Then Kai got a style cut on his eye and flew into a window in a box being pushed by David Cameron. But it was all to no avail. The admins don't care. And when we went to Burger King, we got fat. The dude made the greatest webcomic known to man, but couldn't finish it because he got banned. And the webcomic was no more. The webcomic was known as PKRS Adventures. And under his breath he dramatically said, and Kai was the main character. 7 balloons, Donkey Kong. You cannot beat a deal. This a deal, eh? Ruben? I don't think he said that. Yes, he did, Sonic. The pie is a dizzle, sizzle, spike Rambo man. And so Donkey Kong bought the balloons and used them to capture the trolls. But then this legend made no grammatical sense. But the balloons got popped by the long spiky nose of the troll. So the trolls cried. Goatee Man and Tails Boy to the rescue. Dramatic music. No, said Goatee Man. Goatee Man. He was more than a preserver of the law and was late for the cameo in a newspaper called The Sun. He was on page 17, where Rocco Bodie also appeared. No, Luke, it was 3 years old, the paper was. Even though it was a misprint, he shouldn't have been on page 3. Exactly! And then the fish ran with his Brigadoon, where he was turned into a backwards merman. Super Meat Boy read The Sun and wondered where Commander Video was. Blonde midgets for the wind, sang Reuben, to the tune of Rock de Kokobo. And then he set off to catch all the Metabots in Digimon. Watch Thing and Sonic sat there like, the heck's going on? When a wild Pikachu appeared, he had 2 scratched, unhealthy legs. Ash took it in. Scene.
And then Kai jumped in, defeated Snape who killed Dumbledore to the theme of Pokemon. Ash taught Pikachu moves like Splash and tackled and battled Champion Lance. And then Glover came in and shouted Shazam, which still didn't make his game any more popular than The Great Runner 2, which is better than Zelda Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker combined on a Friday. And then Game Grumps teamed up with Dant Rambo and made the game Grumps, and it was good and godlike and rubbish. But it was an extremely controversial scene in which Commander Video and Nicolas Cage transformed into Chuck Norris. But all was not well as the Hippo army returned stronger than ever, and so the court was in session. Commander Audio ate his KFC and Gangnam Style to Walmart. Phoneb Rightway fainted while being the only witness. He was instantly arrested for breaking the laws of the court. The judge was Jacob, and he found Commander Audio guilty. He sentenced him to over 9,000 years of... In a surprise twist of events, the judge took off his Jacob mask and revealed he was Jacob too. When Gaijin Games came to, he realized that Sonic-Boo had jumped out of a TV as a plush doll. Spooky. And then Kai came in and saved the day. They decided to inform the well-respected court about the matter. Commander Video went to Disney World. Jacob 2's beard brainwashed everyone into... They ran into the court where Kai was stealing everyone's food. He became the evil stereotypical hillbilly from the cave. They were scared and sent their situation to the cloud where Sonic was being attacked by ponies and rainbows and dancing cornetos. But Kai saved Timmy from the well using waffle irons. He cried for help from Goateed Man returned. But then Goateed Man shouted the thunderous "No!" and jumped off screen. Please pay £50 for rescuing DLC, said Goatee Man. He had been brainwashed by EA. And EA was led by the Family Party Bear mascot. And EA released Family Party HD Call of Duty Edition for the Xbox One, which led Goateed Man and his assistant Tails Boy, being more famous than Michael Jackson, to celebrate Goateed Man that rides to Thriller. And the Purple Monkey Dishwasher, Simpsons reference, lived happily ever after. And then Eagle of Freedom was caught by an American person, so Irony was bought by EA. The world descended into chaos, but Monado's power could save them if sticks are like bones for trees. Because Biggs the Cat was taken, the Chaos Emerald, and Kai laughed for minutes on end as he got his bearings because Commander Video sacrificed himself. Jacob helped Bonado up high, suffered a poor webcomic artist into the circle of the middle, and walked away while eating chicken while doing Pokerus styles. But wait, there's more. A guy cried and sent the Earth into Spaghettiville, or so they thought. Suddenly XD entered the ring, handsome as always, and created a giant ball of... But the unfair reportings and bans didn't stop, and so everyone had to use the prey ability. That didn't work, so they evacuated. The Pokey whilst a banana ate a sombrero. After the events of that day, Jacob 2 made a pact with Goatee Man and bring Mega Man into Super Smash Bros. 4. And the Cuckoos wrecked Link, and he couldn't save the past. And Kai realized that Monado is extremely small, judging by his Mii character at the Comic-Con. Sonic was completely confused by all of this. Then a post got deleted by a bunch of cyber criminals called the Ad Organ Players, who were also the admins of a magical land called Mii AdSense Jail, where everyone is an animal. Then everyone stopped posting here and took organ lessons. The Pokerus hunters set off with their preferred weapon of choice. Suddenly, a wanted poster appeared for Commander Video. Wanted for Super Smash Bros. 4. Do it, Gaijin Games, read the poster. However, everyone bought Animal Crossing instead. So Patrick went insane with rage.
And Crazy S tried to calm him down. He used pie to cure Patrick. Then a documentary was released titled The Truth of XD. Then they all disappeared. Chuck Norris, 27, was an evil mastermind. This comment contains spoilers. At the end, there was ads trying to promote Family Party and thegame.com. But nobody bought it because Commander Video stopped them, or at least they thought it was him. Steam Rick Roller, go follow him. It was actually Antoine Dobson who stopped them. But it wasn't Commander Video. It was the worst admin of all, Enda Kenny. Then Commander Video done the Harlem Shake. It was also Antoine Dobson and Brian Dobson, but the Harlem Shake video was too short because he finished in 2 seconds. They too ended up playing Mario Paint. They accidentally broke their SNES by sitting on it. Then Little Kuribo turned everything ever into an abridged series. Then they bought Mac and Me. Roald Dahl had to stop Chuck Norris 27 with his literature. The PKRS Club then returned to the story because this story is the PKRS Club story now. But Chuck was too strong. So Crazy Ass asked, am I part of PKRS? Waffles. Suddenly, wind randomly blew on Crazy S's face. And Badham replied, show us what you can do, and we will decide whether or not you are worthy. Wind. Is Spy Ashley, codename Weather, here? I can eat a pancake in 1 minute. Does that make me worthy? No, said a bunch of asterisks, the leader of the club. What is the worthiness task? You must save us from the trolls. The worthiness task was a task fit for no mortal. Only those with the purest of toenails would live. But there are no trolls that I can see unless you live in Moria and have a cave troll. It would take the combined efforts of PKRS Club and Reverse Merman to complete. So then everyone watched Troll 2. If it takes effort from the entire club, how does anyone get into the club? So, Monado, who is still somehow in this story, went searching for Reverse Merman. Reverse Merman had been captured by the trolls. Crazy S went with Monado, but instead he found Derpy Fish along with the Derpy Gang. The Derpy Gang told all, but it was in Emergades. So Crazy S was confused. Oh, Emergades. Oh my god, okay, yeah. He bought a pot noodle to make himself stronger. But the pot noodle was poisoned. Badham had a sudden realization that he left his house keys in his car and his car keys in his house. Crazy S took a pot noodle, HP, attack defense, special attack, and speed went up. Despite gaining strength, Crazy S had been cursed from the pot noodle and now had uncontrollable Badham rush to the locksmiths, but they had been taken over by Enda Kenny and the Irish government admins. The effects of the 2013 Eurovision Song Contest in Malmo were still important. Nay! Exclaimed Crazy S. The Irish government loved AC Milan. Crazy S suddenly had a strange desire to enter a race and become famous. He now had a decision. PKRS or horse racing. So then he came 1 quadrillion times faster than Usain Bolt. He was up against Jakob in his Excite bike and Ruben in his hippo cart. Ruben got his hippo cart from his video game. Crazy S decided to ride on the back of a derpy fish cart. Then Runner 3 was made. Then Derpy Hooves chased him. Runner 3, even further, into the future legend of PKRS versus the aliens. Runner 3 was as good as Cash Cow 6, Ruben, and Crazy S. Crazy S was in last place, but the item box gave him a blue shell, which he fired at, what? Jacob. Jacob fell into last, so Ruben was in first. Suddenly, a huge advert at the side of the track advertising Runner 3 exploded. However, a magic Koopa made Jacob first. Turned everyone into ice. Even the ice Koopas. Over 9,000 spiders ran out of the explosion straight to Ruben's hippo cart, and then Crazy S got 30 mushrooms from an item box and got into first. GameCubes were turned into guns. Then Crazy S got back into the server and said, it was a glitch, not a hack. Derpy Hooves pushed Crazy S off the track. So then, what? Ruben was pushed off by Scat McCool. But Jacob and his Excite bike still won the race. Scat McCool made Battleship into a film. It was as good as Titanic 2. Thank you for your time.
Family Party, but Scat was forced to make it by King Edna Kennedy of the Admins.
What is this? I don't even...
The Jam Jar guy from Crazy S's Morrison's story joined the race.
This is Sparta!
And so did Commander Video and Uncle Dill. Then Sonic joined the race.
Everybody stop right there.
So did the guy from Temple Run, and Usain Bolt, and Lara Croft, and Cash Cow, and so did Ouija, and Roger Rabbit, and Roadrunner.
I'm leaving.
And then everyone sobbed. Don't go, said a random person. So then Hasbro arranged a funeral.
But I must leave my minions.
Then as Ruben went to the door, Crazy S said, "You shall not pass!" So then Derpy Hooves placed millions of all your base are belong to us signs and turned it into meme base. Then Mr. Weeble moved into meme base. He made the new advert for Admiral. But only one person cared. His name was Nob Adi, brother of Bill. He was the producer of the Cash Cow franchise. It will be continued right now.
This is an interesting story, lol,
said the Family Party Bear.
Why didn't the chicken cross the road?
Then the Jam Jar guy left the Morrisons.
Because he was tired of the lame joke.
So then the bear bought M. Saver's chicken nuggets. Then a neutrality wave painted the earth and everything returned to normal. Suddenly, everyone started playing Wave Race. But all was not well. As the Badmins popped out of nowhere, reached for their unfair ban guns, and got everyone on planet Earth banned, everyone protested so much that they shot everyone. One young Miiverser was destined to save the day. Great. Why do I always have to save the world? He was a phantom. That person was Sonic. Because you're the only one with the green cap of Sonic, said Ruben, who had recovered from a serious racing accident. Sonic was also a phantom by the name of Mr. Epic, who, in disguise, was a magic man. Oh, right, of course, duh. Then Sonic the Hedgehog tried to steal Sonic's green cap. Then Shadow the Hedgehog got Sonic's cap off Sonic the Hedgehog. It turns out it was the Chaos Emerald brand cap. Then Crazy S returned. What has happened? So Sonic had a party. Dant Rambo decided to blow up the story because it made no sense whatsoever. Somebody made a mess at the party, and it had to be cleaned up by Mama Luigi's ShamWow. Then Ouija hurt Mama Luigi. And for the 2,846,294,294th time, the story tried to reset itself. Unfortunately, at this point, there was no way the tale of whatever could make sense again. apart from the fact it was all a dream. Then Mama Luigi attacked Ouija with a magic marker. Suddenly, Marth returned from the future. There was no saving this story. It gets even worse from here on out, guys, he said. Then Ouija watched Red's dream. The Gaijin Games people burst into tears as they realized they would have to read this story and post it on Miiverse as a video. Then Scat McCool and Maxwell from Scribblenauts saved the world with pencils. Phantom was scared to post because he might accidentally make there be two different storylines. So then they sued Phantom, Mr. Epic, and Crazy S. Then the camera panned out to reveal that everyone was in the room, whilst Monado was in Ruben's bin. Giant piranha plant's mouth. That makes a change, Ruben thought to himself.
Thus, two timelines were created. Then Sonic advertised himself again. Sonic Rush 888 everybody. But Monado deleted his thought because he didn't want to risk another timeline opening. There are currently 9,001 plus 69 times 42 timelines. Actually, that's Tim lines. Patrick was a ninja timeline deleter. The story was less about the guy who won the lottery and more about the story itself. Ruben then walked into his bathroom, but he screamed in horror like, ah, blah, 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 when he's seen Monado in his toilet eating Oreos without milk. Monado, he screamed, how could you? Phantom cannot spell. Then Dan deleted his post and pretended this never happened. Monado was so shocked his iPod autocorrected his name to Monaco. Then Dan said, it's too much, and cried. Well, this is awkward. I thought Dant was female, just because he has cool hair. At Sonic. I wonder how we shall find out. The universe imploded for the 74 quadrillion, 628 trillion, 194 billion, 846 million, 282,947th time. All but a magic unicorn died. Then Crazy S said, this has nothing to do with Uncle Dill. That unicorn is Unky Dill. The PKRS Club embarked on their quest to find out if Dant Rambo was a female or not. On their way to Gaijin Games, they saw a sign that said, follow Ninty Hippo on Miiverse today. We could just walk up to Dant and look. Sonic sounded slightly weird when he said that, but Sonic's plan did not work because Dant was wearing Metroid's suit. Well, it's kind of obviously what sex somebody is from looking at them. Then Dant crawled and Polly Yu screamed in delight. Guys, I found out the answer. Dant is in fact Chocobo. As our story draws to a close, we have a message from our sponsor, the Hippo Army. Hippos in my bathtub, hippos in my tea, the Runner 2 community is ours tee-hee. La 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 la, cough, the end. What? How is it sexist? I never said anything sexist. Anger. Gaijin Games after seeing this. Crap, it's too much, never again. Patrick, if you're sexist, you discriminate a certain sex. We aren't saying that males, females are bad. Dant is a male. Photo on the Runner 2 website. But I thought he was female, that's all. Case closed. The picture by Dant's blog post confirms his manlyhood. Sorry, Dant. Sorry. I just tend to get angry about this kind of thing. Pat, don't worry about it. Anyways, let's get back to the story. There was actually a story, and then they all made a stunning revelation. The Miiverse was a lie. Will they have to read this crap out about Dant's gender? Yes. They world must know that Dant is a girl. I mean boy. Now I want to play Runner 2. OMG, Mr. Epic's here. Sorry, a bit off topic. I wonder if Gaijin will have to have all of this, or they will cut out the mostly unrelated PKRS bits. Then we all realized that on the video they will probably cut out everything because he said, because it makes no sense. But as all of these strange things happened, a freshly baked potato was eaten by no one other than the family party bear. The bear ate the potato. It was sweet and hot, just like the revenge that would be given to the people who dissed family party games. But secretly, a higher power was pulling the strings, known only as Ashley. Dramatic dun dun dun. Gasp, Ashley? Then the party bear made a film. It was called Why Runner 2 is Amazing. It was the only good thing that the bear has ever done so far. Ashley was pleased with the students' work. He ordered the family party bear to make a Miiverse account called Jack 2. However, Commander Video hated the video so much he cried. The bear just kept reading the O&M review of Devil Survivor 2. Then Captain Audio came and wanted some on Uncle Dill's winnings. But Uncle Dill was a clever pickle.
And he said no. This made Commander Audio very sad, so he decided to go on Miiverse and rapaciously search for Yaz. Commander Audio made an account called Ben, among many others, where he used them for spamming. He bullied people and eventually banned them by destroying them. He forced people to play either Family Party or E.T., and only one thing could destroy him, Sonic.exe. However, Sonic.exe somehow appeared to be glitchy. So then Mr. Gimmick tried to fix the corrupted file, but he didn't succeed. So then Sam got Postman Pat to do it. Postman Pat nearly died trying. Meanwhile, Uncle Dill used part of his winnings to make rules for the Miiverse Storytime segments for any future installments. Postman Pat was killed by the bear, so Pingu took over Pat's mission. So then Commander Video got his own file, .comv. But Uncle Dill wanted to go back on topic, so he kidnapped Pingu. Aw, heck no, you can't kidnap Pingu, and died a miserable death. Nug nug. So then people downloaded the Django Unchained in .comv files. Nug nug. Now I'm dead. I only exist as a ROM file. Then Pingu got downloaded onto Sonic's PC. Except Ashley didn't protect Pingu's file. Strange, I'm on a PC at the moment. Soon, the Pingu file became compressed. Sonic.exe became Pingu's Happy Land, only for Xbox One. Then Pingu was filmed and was on every quadruplex tape. All the classic Pingu VHS tape releases became available on Netflix, but the quality is 144p. And then the plot became insane again. Yay. Sonic, your Mii's shocked face is utterly insane. I know, right? Mondo took to the stage and sang, I know, it scares me. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. DuckTales. Woo. The Miiverse admins stormed onto the stage and took away Monado. Then that song was mashed up with Gangnam Style. Monado is still singing in his jail cell. Monado fought back with his team of ninjas consisting of Ruben, Sam, and Pingu. Postman Pat rose from the ashes. Then Pingu sung the duck song. Postman Pat set out to win back the Best Granny's TV Show award from Pingu, but nobody could understand him. All they could hear was nug nug nug. So then they had a big battle, but Postman Pat destroyed everything on his way home. He should have gone to Specsavers. Then Commander Audio killed Pingu and Postman Pat. Mr. Gimmick declared World War III against the bear, who also rose from the ashes. It was the smallest war ever declared. How was it World War III then? The world spontaneously combusted for the 100 millionth time. It was meant to be for the world, but everyone else refused to fight. So instead, they watched My Little Pony and picked dandelions while the world surrendered and accepted its fate. The whole world tried to kill Derpy Hooves. Suddenly, a huge war broke out, bronies versus anti-bronies. All the bronies just sat and watched Atlantis, the Lost Empire. Meanwhile, the anti-bronies watched the most hardcore and manly movie known to man. Then Rihanna tried to kill all the anti-bronies. Nintendo realized this would hurt their sales, so they sent Smash Brothers cast to fight. And they did, with Mega Man, Rayman, Family Party Bear, and Roger Rabbit. The war was the biggest war declared. The Great Brony Anti-Brony War. Marth was determined to end this madness. Madness? This is Sparta. Marth used his epic, amazing, super uber amazing power to bend time. Gaijin Games are going to have a bad time reading all this. Will there ever be another reading video? I bet they'll remove 75% of the PKRS stuff. Marth discovered he could travel through time. He realized there was only one way to stop this madness. Warn people of what would happen if they continued this story. He found out he had to talk about Commander Video. Gaijin began to weep uncontrollably as they began to realize what they'd done. They'd made a literary monster.
Literary monster, like that book in Harry Potter with the teeth? Suddenly a hero emerged from the darkness. Commander Video had returned to steal Uncle Dill's fortunes. Turns out, coincidentally, that Uncle Bill owned fortune cookies that predicted his every move. Then Uncle Bill turned into a bullet bill. Then the police arrested Uncle Bill for impersonating Uncle Dill. The police gave him a life sentence. But first, he was brought to Jacob's court. Then Alex Noisy, Mike Roush, Stant Rambo, and the rest of the Gaijin Games set out to destroy this post and eat Subway. Then they made an infinite looped Animal Crossing advert. Then every plotline exploded except for the one with the court. Reuben was then sent to court with Commander Audio and Uncle Bill, where Gaijin Games ordered for them to be executed, where the egg salad sandwich reigned supreme. Then Commander Video joined Warner Brothers, whilst Commander Audio Goatee Man burst into the room to save Reuben from being executed. Then Uncle Buck pushed Jacob and Sonic off a cliff. But they survived. They had magic powers. Goatee Man ran to the rescue, but he changed his mind and ran off. But they landed on Reggie Fils-Aimé to free Willie out of his pool. Unfortunately, history began to repeat itself, and Dill got pickled by the magic weeds of his grandfather again. And the events of this story so far got looped and happened over and over again until the end of time, which happens in 5 minutes. And so, wait, what? Everybody panic like there's no tomorrow because there really isn't any tomorrow. 5 minutes passed, nothing happened. It was just Gaijin Games making sure the story didn't go mad. Later, Dan Rambo looked at the story and started to regret making this post. But he didn't want to make the fans sad, so he was forced to go ahead with the video. Then Dan Rambo got married to Ashley. There was a wedding. 5 quintillion people attended. Reuben was the best man, and Monado was the bridesmaid. However, Ewan burst into the scene and revealed that Ashley at the altar was in fact Ben. But the wedding must go on. And so Ashley moved his head closer to Dan Rambo's. Plot twist! And Dan Rambo headbutted the imposter for impersonating his beloved Ashley. They flied through the air on a magic rainbow, and they got magic. No, they did not. They got married anyway. Then Ewan revealed the real Ashley, and Dan and real Ashley finally got married. The end. Then they sat and watched My Little Pony. Then there was a magical pony flying through the sky, playing Runner 2 with you and I. ASDF movie. Then Monado cried because weddings got him emotional. The magical pony tried to perform magical tricks, but it failed. Monado made a river of tears. Then the river became a lake, and then a sea, and then an ocean, and then everyone drowned. The world was full of water. But with his lottery winnings, Uncle Dill was able to sail around on his cruise ship, which he bought. 616 comments, pure evil. Uncle Dill by an explosion to make it stop. But everything to end. Good luck with this, Gaijin Games. I want to see the video tomorrow, though. That was hilariously hilarious, XDDDDD. He sold his stuff for waffles. But then Uncle Dill returned home, and he burnt the waffles. Thus, he begins yet another journey. Sadly, his journey ended early as he was diagnosed with a fatal illness. Then he cured it with magic lollipop alpaca juice and then swam in ice cream. But then he realized he was running low on ramen noodles, so he decided to ride a turtle for the rest of his life. And to close the show, this story made no sense. I'm a silly buffalo. Thank you and good night. Oh yeah, one last thing. Go follow Sonic Rush 888 on Miiverse. Okay, bye. For real now. You can cut out my shameless self-advertising, but keep the bit about the silly buffalo. Then Commander Video sat on Sonic's silly buffalo. It charged away, and Sonic ended up on an asteroid heading for the Welkin Wonderland. The Welkin Wonderland was full of Commander Video disc shops and a new rival to DVDs and Blu-rays. The Welkin Wonderland is also well known for their taco shop, Taco. Commander Audio discs were now available, the rival to CDs, mini discs, and SACDs. But nobody bought Commander Video discs because they sold was home improvement box sets with Optimus Prime. But nobody in Australia gets to play this game, and that makes us sad. Can I buy your game, please? Tim Allen vowed to destroy Optimus Prime for stealing his Commander Video disc sales. Then Tim Allen found Link. Then time, space, and everything else exploded. Never let Dill near a firelighter. As the world exploded, Uncle Dill sang a folk version of Through the Fire and flames by Dragon Force while doing a stupid dance.
Whilst being cooked by a mysterious chef. Say bye-bye to Uncle Dill, kids. Bye-bye, Uncle Dill. Uncle Dill is gone, and the universe has exploded. This surely has to be the end. But here's the million-dollar question. Is this really the end of the story? Before anyone could answer, Boys to Men kicked open the door and started singing End of the Road. Then Bilbo Baggins ran in and said, End of the road? Never. Then he sang, The Road Goes Ever On. Bilbo Baggins was approached by Simon Cowell, and he got a recording contract. Ashley was rushed to the hospital. What happened to Ashley? An explosion of some sort. Reuben? Kabushi boom. Ashley's doctor looked him in the eye and said, No, just no. Then Patrick made a shocking discovery. He realized the still flooded earth had frozen over, and James's Coca-Cola had frozen too, so he couldn't drink it. And the story makes even less sense now. And so they all ate pickles to stay warm. Then they realized they were eating Uncle Dill, and so his grandson kidnapped Princess Pearl. The grandson's castle turned out to be the supermarket. So James went there to get more Coca-Cola. But they only had Pepsi and a Tesco imitation cola. The Coca-Cola was in another castle. And so was Princess Pearl, who was frozen anyway. The reward for the rescue of Pearl was a can of Coca-Cola, so James set out to save her. So did Crazy S and the late Ed from Ed's World. Over land, sea, and ice, our three heroes set out on their mission. There were many dangers on the way, but after a week or two, they arrived. When they arrived, they forgot they were supposed to be doing and went home. But suddenly, a huge dome landed around them. They were trapped. The only way out of the dome was to explode it, but no one had brought bombs. Next on Dr. Phil, I started a Miiverse game and destroyed all the logic. Ed could get out as he was a ghost, but the others were stuck. But they had brought Bob the Builder. But James's awesomeness could break logic, so somehow it escaped too. Spoilers. This comic contains spoilers. But Crazy S was stuck, so he summoned Derpy the whale to break the dome. Then he got out. But then Crazy S was kidnapped by PETA. Then PETA were sued by KFC. So PETA brainwashed Crazy S into doing their bidding. His first mission, destroy KFC. But the PKRS Club came back from the Ice Age and tried to save Crazy S. Robotic voice. I shall make KSI do a video about KFC being shut down. Normal Crazy S. Help me brainwash Crazy S. Shut up. A team was formed to save Crazy S. The members of the team were the PKRS Club, Ed's Ghost, and others from Ed's World. Mr. Motivator, Reverse Merman, a talking sombrero, and Ruben, the PKRS Club, Luis Suarez, Mario Brothers, Derpy Fish, the Hero Justice League, and some random talking tree. An ant? Mr. Epic, Derpy Hooves, Zelda, Satoru Iwata, and Woody. And the team leader was Luigi, since it was the year of Luigi. And so, our copyright-destroying team of heroes set off on their epic quest to save Crazy S. KFC sponsored them, which was good. But then they were also sponsored by Burger King, who released awful advert games to tie in with the adventure. Then Artco, known for making Family Party, made a tie-in game. It was published by D3 Publisher. It was so bad that half the team of heroes quit in disgrace. Captain Crunch rated it an 80 out of 10. Despite being disgraced by Artco's game, our remaining heroes decided to move on in their quest. However, Ouija added 3 zeros onto the 10, so his score changed. Then they stopped to celebrate 700 comments on this post. They then decided to ignore the tie-ins, After the party for 700 comments, our heroes walked in, and then suddenly Metroid and Matt came and joined the crew. Soon, they came across a small gap. It was just the right size to fit a P stylus in. They got across eventually, and Ruben had coffee. Did Ruben like the coffee? Then ages later, Crazy S was saved. End. Suddenly, Metroid started crying since he was left behind when everyone went through the hole. But he got over it, 10 years later. Seriously, only nymphs incubate chickens randomly until someone hates 888. What? The end.
I'm a silly buffalo. Thank you and good night.